我们可以开始要请法了哈。
大众请合掌。Please put your palms together. 恭请大家三听，为此法会集一切众生，请转妙法轮，教导我们如何了生脱死离苦得乐。速证无生。Will the Sangha with great virtue, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach us how to leave suffering and attain bliss and end birth and death, and quickly realize non-birth.
南无萨旦托苏伽多耶阿拉诃帝三藐三菩提伽。南无萨旦托苏伽多耶阿拉诃帝三藐三菩提伽。南无萨旦托苏伽多耶阿拉诃帝三藐三菩提伽。南无药师海会佛菩萨。南无药师海会佛菩萨。南无药师海会佛菩萨。
Namo Sea Vast Medicine Master Assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas.
无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来忏法义。英文
The unsurpassed, profound, and wonderful Dharma is difficult to encounter in hundreds of millions of eons. I now see and hear it, receive and uphold it, and I vow to truly understand the Tathagata's repentance Dharma.
诸佛菩萨、师父上人、各位善知识，阿弥陀佛。今天是公元2021年9月25日，我们继续研究药师忏妙义。
Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Venerable Master, Dharma Masters, and good knowing advisors, Amitabha. It is September 25th, 2021. We will continue studying the wondrousness of the Medicine Master repentance today.
今天是第7讲。
This is lecture 7.
我们现在在研究的是，药师忏呢，一开始的时候呢是诵药师如来的12大愿。那我们现在一起呢是在研究的是药师琉璃光如来本愿功德经里的12个大愿，药师佛的12大愿。
So at the start, the repentance, Medicine Master repentance, starts with Medicine Master Buddha's 12 great vows. And this is what we're studying now, the 12 great vows of in the Sutra of the Merit and Virtue of the past vows of Medicine Master Vajrayana Tathagata.
我们上个月呢是谈到第1、第2、第3、第4哈。第5愿呢讲了一半啊，今天要继续研究第5个愿。
So last month we have a study vow number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we are halfway through the 5th vow. So we will continue from here today.
那么就把上人的这个药师经的浅释呢，把它重点式的点出来哈。今天我们再来做一点复习哈，说众生呢，到现在呢还有这么多人没有完全堕落三恶道啊，都是因为有药师琉璃光如来这个名号的关系，这是第一点。
So we are going to recap some important points from last time. First point is the name of Medicine Master Vaidya Light Tathagata has saved many of us from falling into the three evil paths.
所有那些呢造了十恶不善的人，或者开斋破戒的人，不修善法的人，如果他能够听到药师琉璃光如来的名号，他就可以消除罪业，离苦得乐，了生脱死。
So anyone who has committed the 10 evils or broken the precepts or the rules of pure eating, if you hear the name of this Buddha, you will attain bliss and be free from offenses, suffering, as well as the cycle of birth and death.
因为呢，药师琉璃光如来，他以前在因地的时候就已经知道，多数的众生是不持戒律的，多数都是善恶夹杂，分不清的。
It's because Medicine Master Buddha knew in the past at his causal ground that living beings do not uphold the precepts. As a result, their karma is a mixture of good and evil. You can't clearly delineate them.
那持戒律为什么要持戒律呢？持戒律就是可以让我们返本还原，恢复本有的智慧。
Upholding precepts. Why do we want to uphold precepts? By upholding the precepts, we can return to the origin and uncover our inherent nature.
那么知道众生这种习气毛病，也就是可能持了戒了，但是还是会三恶夹杂，就是这种习气毛病，使到我们呢，受了戒还是会犯戒啊，就是因为自己所犯的这些种种错误，他为了这些学佛人或者不学佛的人，因为不持戒或者持了戒又来三恶夹杂犯戒都好，为了这一类人，他发了第5个大愿。
Okay, so he knew that living beings have many of these bad habits, and therefore, when we uphold precepts, living beings, when they uphold precepts, they have a mixture of good and evil together. And so the Buddha understood those who are learning the Buddha Dharma, those who aren't learning the Buddha Dharma, or if you're upholding the precepts and then later broke your precepts. So we always have a mixture of good and evil karma with us. Therefore, he made the 5th vow, the 5th great vow.
我们来看，第5大愿。第5大愿，愿我来世得菩提时，若有无量无边有情，于我法中修行梵行。
So now let's take a look at the 5th great vow. The 5th great vow. I vow that in the future life, when I attain Bodhi, I shall enable immeasurable and countless sentient beings who cultivate Brahma conduct within my Dharma.
好，第5个大愿呢，他发愿说，将来我成了佛，得证菩提的时候，到那个时候呢，如果有无量无边的有情于我法中，也就是指佛法，因为他的法也就是诸佛的法，也就是一切的佛法，因为佛佛道同。他说，在我的佛法当中，或者是在任何的佛法当中学佛的人，尤其是修行梵行的人，他们我要令他们有什么好处呢？
Okay, cultivate pure. So let's take a look at the 5th great vow. It says that when I realize Bodhi, in that time, there is going to be, I'm going to enable limitless and boundless number of living beings who are cultivating the Brahma conducts in my Dharma. My Dharma means the Buddha Dharma because the path of all Buddhas are exactly the same. So in that Dharma, when they cultivate Brahma conduct, what kind of benefit would they get? How would I benefit them?
那所谓的犯恨呢，就是清净恨。清净犯恨呢，清净犯恨指的是严持戒律。
Okay, so what's Brahma conduct? Brahma conduct means pure practices, which is the same as upholding precepts strictly.
那这个是一般的这么说啦，其实啊，要严持戒律来讲呢，再往深的讲，这个犯恨如果你要明白，你一定要研究《华严经》卷第17犯恨品第16，专门谈论究竟什么叫犯恨。
Okay, so this is how we would explain Brahma conduct ordinarily. However, if you really want to know what Brahma conduct is, you must go ahead to study row 17 of the Avatamsaka Sutra, which is chapter 16, Brahma conduct chapter.
那现在所有能够有缘遇到这场法的居士们呢，或者法师们呢，这个呢，对我们来讲，我们都是往这条路走的。我相信大家都是想修犯恨的。
Okay, so all the people who have encountered this Dharma, to us, we can say that we're all walking on this path. We all want to cultivate the Brahma conduct.
那所以这个犯恨呢，我等后面呢，一定会详细跟大家解释哈。那现在看呢，他说你在佛法当中要修犯恨的时候，我一定要帮助你怎么样呢？一切皆令得不缺戒，具三具戒，设有毁犯，闻我名已，还得清净，不堕恶趣。
So Brahma conduct, we will explain it in detail in the later part. But right now, here it talks about if in Buddha Dharma, if one wishes to cultivate the Brahma conduct to perfectly uphold the 3 cluster of precepts without exception, should there be any violation upon hearing my name, they will regain their purity and not fall into the evil destinies.
那修犯恨的人，他最基本的一定是要持戒，因为成佛之道是戒定慧嘛，持戒修定，然后开发智慧就可以成佛。那所以呢，最基本的就先说修犯恨者先要保住的是他的戒律，所以呢，我要帮助所有要修犯恨的人，第一，他们一定能够得不缺戒，就是他所持的戒律一定是没有缺陷，而且能够持到什么程度呢？他的3具境界都可以持得满分。
Okay, so people who are cultivating the way are going to basically, we uphold the precepts. Upholding the precepts is actually the path to realize Buddhahood, because the process goes with upholding the precepts, developing samadhi, and opening our wisdom. So those who are cultivating must uphold the precepts without any blemish, means perfectly. So to what degree does one uphold the precepts? They uphold the 3 cluster of precepts perfectly without any exception, 100%.
但是他说，假设呢，在过程当中持戒的时候呢，有所毁犯，他又能够听闻到我的名号，成佛的名号的话呢，他就有要救了。我一定会帮助他恢复清净，而且他之前犯了戒呢，毁了戒了，都不会堕三恶道。
Okay, so in this process of upholding the precepts, if one has violated the the regulations, the precepts, upon hearing my name, then there is hope. They can recover their purity, and also with the fact that they have violated the precepts, they will not fall into the 3 evil destinies.
但是这里呢，我要强调的是说，闻很多人都闻过这尊佛名，大家都认识消灾延寿药师佛或者药师琉璃光如来，但是听是听，也不了解这尊佛真正的他的功德，他的本愿，只知道他是帮助我们消灾免难啊，消灾延寿罢了。那这样子的人，然后对他也没有特别的信心或者特别的归命，想要持他的名号，那这样子的人呢，大多数佛教徒如果他跟药师佛的缘不深的话呢，药师佛虽然他知道，但对他来讲好像很遥远的一尊佛，他不能启发想要归命他的心。如果只是这样呢，我觉得还不够算是闻我名。那闻是必须进一步会产生一种信心，然后甚至于呢，知道自己已经是犯了戒了，毁了戒了，没药救了，会堕恶道了，很怕了，所以知道这尊佛有这个本愿呢，就会发那个心，一心的每天一心受持这尊佛的名号，那这样的人就真的可以不堕恶趣。
Okay, so here, however, we want to emphasize on hearing. What does hearing mean? People would hear the names of Medicine Master Buddha, Medicine Master Vajrayana Buddha. They don't really know this Buddha's merit and virtue or his great vows. We only know, eradicating disaster, lengthening life, Medicine Master Buddha, but we don't really have any special faith toward this Buddha, or we don't uphold his name. So as a result, most people don't really have deep affinities with this Buddha. They would know, oh, this is Medicine Master Buddha, but it seems like this Buddha is kind of far away from us, and one didn't really take refuge with him. So here, hearing means one has advanced further to develop faith and understand that, oh, I myself have broken the precepts, I have violated the precepts, I would like to single-mindedly uphold this Buddha's name so that I don't fall into the evil destinies.
这样就很有效啦。
Then this will be very effective.
就跟这个愿相应了。
It will correspond to this vow, particular one.
好，现在呢，我们呢更进一步研究了，就是有关我们求生西方的人跟这条愿有什么关系。
So we'd like to study more. What does this Buddha have to do with seeking rebirth in the Pure Land?
特别是刚才这个第5愿
，especially the 5th vow.
好，观无量寿佛经书三岛大师说呢，五浊恶世的凡夫因为每个人的缘不一样，所以呢，修起来呢，就变成有9品的不同。那么会往生上品的人呢，他这辈子一定是遇过大乘法，叫做遇大凡夫。他是凡夫，但是他学过大乘法，他修过大乘法，他才有机会可以往生上品的3个位，就是上品上生、上品中生、上品下生。
Okay, so here it says ordinary beings in the 5 turbidities have different conditions with which they encounter this Dharma. Consequently, the conditions result in differences of the 9 grades of the lotus they are reborn in. So what are the 9 grades? So the aspirant of the 3 superior grades are those who encounter the Mahayana. So here the Chinese says that they are grade ordinary people. The grade ordinary people refer to the cultivators who are practicing Mahayana Dharma, so they can be reborn in the upper grade of lotuses, which means upper level of upper grade, middle level of upper grade, and lower level of upper grade.
那刚才呢，我们看这个经文说具3具戒就是说 药师佛发这个第5愿呢，他特别要帮助众生持戒持到什么程度呢？可能你一开始你只是受5戒罢了，但是因为你闻过他的名号，然后呢，你愿意归命这尊佛，他一定让你善根增长。你不只是会持5戒，你一定会进一步呢去发心受菩萨戒，然后受了菩萨戒，不但只是受罢了，他还会帮助你持菩萨戒持到满分嘛。这个就是这尊佛他的本意发这个愿，是要让我们呢行菩萨道，然后呢所持的菩萨道呢一定是持菩萨戒的，他要让你持菩萨道持菩萨戒持满分，也就是说他要帮助你呢能够修大乘法，来行菩萨道，然后呢可以如果以这样子的修行求生西方，你可以往生上品的3种位。
Okay, so we just talked about what the sutra said. It says, Medicine Master Buddha had made the great 5th vows to help living beings to uphold the precepts. So to what level, to what degrees do we have to uphold the precepts to? If we have taken refuge with this Buddha, our roots of goodness will certainly increase. So we will then advance ourselves to take the Bodhisattva precepts. Not only do we just take the Bodhisattva precepts, we will uphold the precepts to 100 points, to 100%. This is really the intention of this particular vow. It wishes living beings to practice the Bodhisattva path. And to do that, you need to uphold the Bodhisattva precepts first. So to uphold the Bodhisattva precepts to 100%, so that you can cultivate the Mahayana Dharma, practice Bodhisattva path. And if you can do that, you can be reborn in the land of ultimate bliss, in the upper grades of lotus, 3 kinds of upper grades of lotus.
好的，那所以现在我们来学习一下，就是我们今天有缘遇到药师佛跟药师忏，我们呢就多了一尊佛可以帮助我们往生上品的。那我们呢到底要怎么样能够上品身呢？不只是说要靠他加持让我们持戒清净啊，我们必须要了解修上品身的人，他最基本的道理他要懂，要怎么修才可以真正的上品上身，或者上品中身，上品下身。
Okay, so now we have the affinity to encounter Medicine Master Buddha, that we have a chance to be reborn in the lotus of upper grades. So we don't just want to depend on this Buddha to bless us so that we can uphold the precepts purely. We also want to be reborn in the upper grades of lotuses. And so to do that, we need to understand the principles behind the underlying principles of being reborn in the upper grades of lotus. You need to know how to cultivate so you can reborn in the lotuses of the upper level of upper grade, middle level of upper grade, and lower level of upper grade.
那首先我们一定要有智慧去修嘛。那现在我们要往生上品的人我就告诉各位了，第一，你一定要懂楞严经，就开智慧的这部楞严经所讲的这段经文。
Okay, so first of all, we must have wisdom to cultivate. So you need to understand this particular sutra, this particular section of sutra text in the Shurangama. The Shurangama opens up one's wisdom.
存想即非必生天上，若非心中兼福兼慧，给予净愿，自然心开，见十方佛，一切净土随愿往生。
Endow solely with thought, they will fly and can certainly be reborn in the heavens above. If they fly from the heart, and if they have blessings and wisdom, as well as pure vows, then their hearts will spontaneously open, and they will see the Buddhas of 10 directions and all their pure lands, and they will be reborn in whichever one they wish.
所有呢想要求生到十方净土的人呢，他这辈子修行，他当然是遇到大乘法的啦，因为他懂得 存想，就是他有他的心念，心心念念离不开什么内容呢？佛法戒天师哈，就是佛法僧戒天跟师这6念他离不开，就是没有那种贪嗔痴的啦哈，没有那种情，就是完全纯想，这是第一个条件。
Okay, so all those people who wish to be born in the Pure Land need to make vows. You must have pure thoughts, indulge with solely with thoughts. So what are their thoughts filled with? They are filled with Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, precepts, heaven, and giving. So in their mind, there is no greed, anger, and delusion. There is no emotion, no negative emotions. They are solely indulged with thought.
然后这样还不只是要这样子，还要兼福兼慧，你还要修福修慧。那么修福又修慧的呢，就是大乘法了。那大乘法主要是叫你要修福跟修慧，但是怎么样能够福慧修的圆满，一定要靠一个推动力，那个就是净愿，发清净的大愿。
Okay. So then not only this, we also need to cultivate blessings and wisdom as well as pure vows. So if we're cultivating blessings and wisdom, that means this is already Mahayana Dharma, but you cannot just depend. But how to cultivate blessings and wisdom, you must be propelled or motivated by your great vows, great pure vows.
Yeah. 那这样子修的人呢，他自然一定会开佛智慧，就是心开，你的如来藏心开显，自信的智慧会开出来。那这样子的人呢，他一定呢见十方佛，任何尊佛你都可以见到，一切净土随愿往生，你要选择去哪一个净土都没问题，因为你是行菩萨道的人，你是内心充满无量无边的清净的大愿，要成佛，要利益众生，做什么都是想到众生，想到菩提，是这样子的人。所以什么境界来，他都是会借境界修福修慧跟发清净愿，然后念佛。如果是求生西方就念佛嘛，纯想你就选择念佛。遇到境界又念法，用佛法来看境界，不要用你个人的意见，不要用凡夫的知见，而是用佛菩萨的知见来看，你就念那个法，这样你就不起情绪跟烦恼，然后你就借着境界呢发个清净慧，念个佛，哇，你又是属于修功德啦，又可以呢长养你的莲花，又可以庄严无上菩提，就是这样子一直修而不犯啦，不再造轮回的业，这样子。
Okay. So people who are cultivating this will certainly will certainly open their Buddha's wisdom. Definitely, the inherent nature, the inherent nature of the Tathagata's treasure will definitely reveal. You will be able to see the Buddhas in the 10 directions. Here it says you can be reborn in any land you wish. So this person, in their mind, it's filled with pure vows. Whatever states happen, they will only think about living beings. They will be mindful of Bodhi. By using these states, encountering these states, they will cultivate blessings and wisdom. They will make pure vows. So whatever states one encounters, one doesn't really use an ordinary person's knowing and seeing, or here we say knowledge and views. We use Buddhas and Bodhisattvas knowing and seeing. So we're always mindful of the Dharma. And then if you can recite the Buddha's name and then make great vows, then you're really cultivating merit and virtue. You're nourishing your lotus flowers. On top of that, you're cultivating pure vows. And if you do that, then naturally you
还有就是庄严那个无上菩提。
And then you can really adorn the unsurpassed Bodhi. So if you can do that, you naturally will not violate any precepts and not fall into the trap of transmigration.
就是没有起烦恼啊，还有七情啊这些问题啦。那个
Then you
是气
won't
去的因，嘿，
you won't have any problems of giving rise to negative emotions, which are causes for falling into the 7 destinies.
好，我们现在来进一步探讨劝发菩提心文，就是行安大师的开示。
Okay, so next we'd like to study further an exhortation to resolve upon Bodhi by Great Master Xing An.
常闻入道要门，发心为首，修行即悟，立愿居先。愿力则众生可度，心发则佛道堪成。苟不发广大心，力坚固愿，则重经成劫依然还在轮回。虽有修行，总是徒劳辛苦。
We have heard that resolving the mind is foremost among the essential doors for entering the path, and that making vows is first amongst the crucial matters in cultivation. By making vows, we can save living beings. By resolving our minds, we can realize the Buddha's path. If we do not make our resolve great and our vows firm, we will remain on the turning wheel throughout as many kalpas as they are particles of dust. Any cultivation will be only bitter toil done in vain.
好，我们想要求生西方极乐世界的人主要就是为了成佛嘛，成佛道。那成佛道在这里就要开始修佛道咯，所以你要入这个佛道。那入佛道怎么入呢？第一步一定要发菩提心，然后发了菩提心，同时就开始修了嘛，修，那么你要修什么啊？念经啊，念咒还是什么呢？很多人就以为我要修行了每天就做功课了。其实做功课还不是最急的，最急是什么？立愿啊。他说修行啊，你不管修什么都好，可是最第一要办的事情就是发愿，立愿。
Okay, so those of us who are seeking rebirth in the land of ultimate bliss, who are seeking to realize Buddhahood, we must enter the path. So how do we enter the path? We must resolve upon Bodhi. Say, okay, I want to cultivate now. So what do I cultivate? Do I recite sutras, mantras, or what? Well, here it says the first thing you need to do is to make great vows. Making vows is first among all the crucial matters in cultivation.
好，那个愿力则众生可度，为什么发愿呢？是修行第一步要办的事情呢？因为只要一个人发了愿呢，他就可以度众生了。然后呢，心发则佛道堪成。如果你有发菩提心，你的修行才会让到你的结局呢是成佛的。如果不发菩提心啊，你做了什么功课啊，修了什么呢？你没有发菩提心啊，你很难成佛道啊。
Okay. So here it says, by making vows, we can save living beings. As long as we make vows, we can cross over living beings. And the ending of our cultivation, the end result of our cultivation could then be the realization of Buddhahood. We can be doing a lot of Dharma homeworks, but if we don't make any vows, it will be very hard for us to become a Buddha.
然后行安大师就继续说，苟不发广大心啊，假如学佛的人啊，不发广大的菩提心还有建立坚固的愿，那么你每天修啊，给你这样子每天没有发大菩提心，又没有发种种大愿的修行啊，给你修了成点劫这么久啊，依然还会再轮回的虽然你也有修，你念了很多经很多咒但是他说是徒劳辛苦的。
Okay, so here it says, if we do not make our resolves great and our vows firm, then we will remain on the turning wheel. Means we cultivate every day, but we haven't made any great vows. We could be cultivating infinite numbers of eons. We will still be transmigrating on the 6th path. So all our cultivation eventually will just be bitter toil done in vain.
故华严经云：忘失菩提心，修诸善法，是名魔业。忘失善耳，况未发乎？故知欲学如来乘，必先具发菩萨愿，不可还也。
As the Flower Adornment Sutra says, if you forget your Bodhi resolve, your cultivation of even wholesome practices become demonic karma. Forgetting one's resolve upon Bodhi is already so serious. How much the more if one has never made the resolve. Thus, we know that anyone wishing to study the vehicle of the Thus Come One must first make Bodhisattva vows without delay.
行安大师说所以呢，华严经才这么说，一个人忘失菩提心，修诸善法，是名魔业。意思是说你是发了菩提心了。我要修道，我要成佛，我要度众生，所以呢，凡是能够利益众生的事情，我一定愿意去做，我愿意去发心，去当义工但是你在做功课的当下，修行的当下遇到任何的境界你忘失了菩提心，把菩提心忘记了，起了烦恼心，用一种烦恼心来服务众生来服务道场，或者做种种佛事，修种种善法，但是是用着一种烦恼心，而不是菩提心的话，是用一种是非心的话，那么你就是在修的不是佛业了，是魔业
So the Avatamsaka Sutra says that if you forget your Bodhi resolve, your cultivation of even wholesome practices becomes demonic karma. It means that you have made the Bodhi resolve and you want to cultivate the path. You want to cross over living beings. You want to make the great resolve, let's say, to be a volunteer, helping the monastery. But then when you're doing your Dharma homework, and at that moment when you encounter states, you forget your Bodhi resolve. You give rise to afflictions. You're annoyed. You're agitated, and you use this affliction to serve living beings or the monasteries, or using afflictions to cultivate wholesome Dharma, even where you use afflictions or the mind of right and wrong, or you can say you use the judgmental mind to cultivate, then what you're cultivating is not Buddha, it's not karma of the Buddhas, it's the karma of the demons.
那各位忘失菩提心刚才说了啦，就是指的是什么我等一下呢会讲得更详细一点。那现在他说把菩提心给忘了都会变成修行修的都是魔业。他明明口里在念地藏经或者念大悲咒，但他心里一直在打刚才那个妄想，那个人呢他弄坏你的东西了，或者他妒忌障碍你了，或者他告你一状了，你一直想刚才被告状的那个事情，你气得不得了，可是你口还在念大悲咒。这种境界就叫忘失菩提心，因为你当下口念咒，心在起刚才所遇到的境界的烦恼心，还在跟着烦恼心来念咒。那这是一个 example 罢了，这个就叫忘失菩提心的一种修行。可是你这样子的修呢，是叫做魔业，也就是上人所说的善恶夹杂。持咒本来就是善法，是出世法，但是你的心呢，却念的是起的是烦恼、贪嗔痴、嗔恨的心、不满意的心、讨厌的心就种种的这种烦恼妄想夹杂着你持咒这件事情。所以呢，你这种修行就是叫忘失咯，忘失菩提心的修诸善法。那你这样子每天抱着这样的心态来修行总忘不了我，一边念咒还在想，哎呀，我要怎么样呢？他为什么这样对我然后或者做完功课又想到那些难过的事情，又在烦恼，所以他的心不能一直念善法，他就是不能存想咯，就是刚才说的不能存想咯。就可能没事的时候没境界，你就可以很存想的念法境界一来的时候呢，你就念那个境界了，就起了气情了，讨厌的心或者难过的心，伤到自尊的心 你这样子就不是，你就不能24小时都是纯想，你是偶尔纯想，偶尔呢又七情了，所以又不知道七情啊、三想啊怎么样啊，就变成跑到七趣去了，自己都不知道。所以修来修去都还算是魔业，因为呢气趣都是逃不离魔所掌控啊，因为六欲天魔管的呢就是六欲天，包括人间还有三恶道都是他所管辖的。所以如果我们呢有骄慢心、贪嗔痴、七情这种种的烦恼心呢，其实都是离不开魔的行为，好，所以才叫魔业。所以你是用一种斗争心来学佛，然后呢会觉得很不满意，为什么别人这样对待你，你这么付出，人家也不会 appreciate， 也不会呢还要在那边呢挑鸡蛋里面挑骨头这样子对待你，你就很失望。所以呢你就学来学去呢就觉得哎呀，我不要面对这种境界了，回家在自己一个人好好用功好一点，我就不会有烦恼心了，我就不会忘失菩提心了。其实呢这个叫做除境不除心啊，你在除那个境界，可是你那个烦恼心还是没除的。改天有一年又遇到另外一件事情勾起你的烦恼心的时候，你还是会起烦恼。所以呢这样子的修行人，其实他的问题就卡在他没有时时保住菩提心，他常常忘了菩提心，常常让烦恼心控制自己的身口意三业。所以祖师才说把菩提心给忘记了来天天这样子修啊，修来修去都是魔业，不自在的啦。更何况你从来不发菩提心呢，那些不学佛的人更不用说了，他们一定是继续轮回的咯。
更何况不发 OK I may miss the last one, but okay. So here it says, if you forget your Bodhi resolve, then what would you? If you forget your Bodhi resolve, then what happens? We are going to detail it later. If we forget our Bodhi resolve, then this is demonic karma. Let alone those of you who have never made the resolve. Let's say if you're reciting the Great Compassionate Mantra or you're reciting the Earth Door Sutra, and then in your mind you're thinking, oh, someone broke my stuff and someone is not nice to me, or someone tales on me. And so your mouth is reciting the Great Compassion Mantra, but your mind is reciting your afflictions and your gossip, because your mind gives rise to when you encounter the state, your mind is very afflicted, and so you follow the flow of your affliction when you're reciting mantra, reciting sutra, and in that, this is called the you're creating the karma of the demons. You're creating a mixture karma of good and bad. So recite mantras and sutras are actually world transcending Dharma. However, when you're reciting these mantras and sutra, your mind is really angry. So and so is you're having this hateful mind, and you have these afflictions, you have these false thinking. So in the midst of reciting the mantra or the sutra, your intention is mixed with your emotions. You have forgotten your Bodhi resolve because you have forgotten, you cannot forget your ego. You cannot forget the I and say, oh, why does this person treat me this way? Why does this person report on me? Go tell tales. So these are the afflictions you're mindful with when you're reciting. So your thoughts could not be pure. It could not be pure thoughts like what we mentioned in the Surangama Sutra. When those states comes, yes, you may be able to maintain some pure thoughts. As soon as state arrives, you may be sad. You may be thinking about, oh, so-and-so have really bruised my ego and really hurt my ego. So you can't have pure thoughts 24 hours a day. just once a while, you could have pure thoughts. So most of the time we fall to follow the flow are 7 emotions and 3 kinds of thoughts. And if that's the case, we fall into the 7 destinies. And we'll be cultivating and cultivating. We're all just creating the karma of the demons, because the 7 destinies are controlled by the celestial demons. The 6 desire heavens, all the 3 evil paths are all controlled by
and the human path.
And the human path, all actually controlled by the demons. You could be angry, you have greed, anger, delusion, you have any of the 7 emotions, then all these are all included in the karma of the demons. So we could be learning the Buddha Dharma, but we're using a fighting mind. We're contending in learning the Buddha Dharma. I'm not satisfied with this. I'm not satisfied with that. So-and-so is jealous of you and you are jealous of so-and-so. Or you think, oh, so-and-so is picking on you. I'm working so hard. I am putting in so many hours and put in so much effort. I'm working here and there. And yet you go pick on me. You're kind of just trying to, what is it? 鸡蛋里面挑骨头. You're trying to pick out a bone in an egg, which is non-existent. So people are just picking on you out of nothing. And you say, oh, I don't want to cultivate anymore. I want to go home and cultivate there by myself. I won't encounter these states. I can maintain pure thoughts. If you have this kind of thinking, that means you are these type of people. You're eliminating the states, but not transforming your mind, which means that you encounter afflictions, you encounter states, but you have not transformed your affliction mind of afflictions. You want to change the external states. You want to change your external environment. However, this won't really help you, because when the states arrive again, your afflictions will also rise. So this means that you aren't really making Bodhi resolve all the time. You're not really maintaining your Bodhi resolve. You just kind of let your afflictions blaze and you continue to create evil karma through your body, speech, and mind. So that's why the patriarch said that if you forget your Bodhi resolve, then your cultivation of even wholesome practices becomes demonic karma. We could be cultivating and cultivating. That's all demonic karma we're accumulating, let alone not ever making the resolve. I think Yang Fasha, I missed maybe the last two sentences.
就是一般不发菩提心的人，他的生活当然也是更加，他不发菩提心，他也不修善法哈，他当然更是去轮回啦。
And of course, ordinary people who have not made the Bodhi resolve and not cultivating the wholesome karma, they will certainly transmigrate in the 7 destinies.
Yeah. 故知，所以呢，我们呢要学如来乘，就学佛乘。想要成佛的人呢，第一步我们要发什么呢？要圆满的来发菩萨的大愿，不可以慢慢来。今天你们就要发菩萨愿了。
Okay, so it says that those of us who wish to realize Buddhahood, those of us who are studying the vehicle of the Thus Come One, must first make the Bodhisattva vows without any delay.
那么各位，什么叫菩萨愿呢？我跟你说，如果你要知道的话，《华严经》呢是回向品里面有说，什么叫回向呢？他说，菩萨摩诃萨有不可思议大愿，充满法界。也就是说，菩萨呢，他在修种种善恨的时候，他都会发不可思议的大愿。有多少条呢？什么境界他都拿来发大愿的啦，好像文殊菩萨在净恒品所教的那样咯。他说善用其心，则获一切深妙功德。也就是菩萨他心心念念他的行住坐卧、穿衣吃饭睡觉、大小便利，他都离不开大愿的大小便时当愿众生，弃贪嗔痴，捐除罪法， 连大小便他都发大愿，所以你就知道菩萨他心心念念只想到发大愿，希望众生因为我做了这件事情，他们有什么结局，他一直要发好愿给众生，让他们很快有好的成就，很好的转变。所以他那个大愿呢，就是会让他成就佛道的啦。所以呢，这个具发大愿也是包括呢，我们遇到逆境的时候，遇到不顺的时候呢，也要发大愿，而不是发烦恼心。
Okay. So, what is Bodhisattva's vows? If we take a look at the Avatamsaka Sutra, we can look at the Transference chapter, which talked about Bodhisattva, Mahasattva make inconceivable great vows that fill up the entire Dharma realm. So Bodhisattvas will cultivate wholesome practices and they will make really great vows, just like the pure conducts or pure practices chapter mentioned by Manjushri Bodhisattva. It says that if we can skillfully and wholesomely use our mind, then we can obtain supreme and wonderful merit and virtue. So what do bodhisattvas do when they're wearing clothes or eating food, any big and small matters, even when they go to the toilet, they make great vows. It says that when I go to the toilet, I vow in front of all living beings that I will eliminate my greed, anger, and delusion, and that I will be able to let go, or living beings, and I will be able to let go all the karmic offenses, or the let go of the dharma of karmic offenses. So these are one example of the great vows that bodhisattvas make, and the only wish they have is for living beings to have really good end results of realizing Buddhahood. So they make all these great vows on behalf of living beings and for the living beings, so that they can transform their mind, they can make great vows. So when we encounter adverse states, instead of giving rise to afflictions, we make great vows.
还有就是当我们在修行的过程当中呢，你看到众生呢种种的恶恨，他造了恶，你当下呢，你如果起了一个哎呀他怎么这么坏呢，其实你这个你觉得他很恶呢，其实你当下已经是出问题了，你那个不叫菩提心，你那个是贡高我慢心，看不起人，那你已经起了一个慢业，还是离不开魔业。所以呢，按照有菩提心的来讲话，见到恶人，他就会像金恒品所说，若见恶人，当愿众生怎么样怎么样。你背不起那个文，你可以自己 create 你自己的文。我见到恶人的时候，我希望一切众生都离开这个恶恨，很快能够发菩提心啊。你这样子讲，也是等于发了一个大愿，而不是念这个人的恶。然后你还可以念一句南无阿弥陀佛，然后跟阿弥陀佛讲，我见到众生的恶的时候呢，你要提醒我念南无阿弥陀佛。希望弟子一念这一句阿弥陀佛的时候，你一定佛光普照对方跟一切众生都能够离开这种恶恨，大家都能够呢存想修福修慧发清净愿。你或许也可以这样子来发大愿，见到别人的恶，然后就舍了他的恶，不再念他的恶。不然的话呢，你的修行呢就是属于又是呢轻视众生的罪了，又是没有菩提心的一个境界了。所以这个忘失菩提心呢，真的很重要哦，不要忘记哦，时时都要正念哦，该舍的就要舍，该具备的都应该具备。我们是很难做得到，所以持戒一直不清净嘛。看到别人恶，你又看不起人；看到别人比你好一点，你又有点嫉妒心。所以呢，那个跳不出这个女人态哈。男的也有妒忌心啊，如果男人呢妒忌心重，也将来如果再做人也会变女的啊。所以呢，这些习气呢，如不舍的话，你就会困扰你的菩提心，使到你常常忘失菩提心，然后没有懂得发大愿来转化，让大家早成佛道，而是一直去念别人的好与不好，来起种种的不善念，那都是属于善恶夹杂的修行。
So in the process of our cultivation, we'll see all kinds of evil evil karma or evil practices or faults of living beings. And if you give rise to a single thought, oh, this person is so terrible, oh, this person is bad, then you are not really maintaining your Bodhi resolve. You have given rise to a thought of arrogance. You have created demonic karma. You're not really creating wholesome karma, but the karma of demons. So just like the Pure Conduct chapter, it says that, oh, when I see, upon seeing evil people, I vow in front of living beings, and so on and so on. So you might not remember the exact text in the sutra, but you can actually make your own vows. You can say that when I see evil people doing evil deeds, I vow in front of living beings. I hope all living beings could stay away from these bad practices. You can make these great pure vows. Instead of being mindful of other people's faults, you can be mindful of wholesome thoughts. For example, you could make this vow and then remember to recite Namo Amitabha for this person. And then you can tell Amitabha Buddha, please remind me to remember to recite your name, to recite Amitabha Buddha when I encounter this state. And then may your light, may the Buddha's light shine everywhere in the 10 Dharma realm, and shine on everyone everywhere. So then you can, in this way, you can cultivate blessings and wisdom at the same time.
就是佛，你就记得放光照对方跟一切众生，让我们都离开这个恶恨，而能够保持存想，修福修慧，发清净愿。希望大家都能够越来越往这个路走。
Okay, so I wish all the Buddha will emit light to shine on all living beings, so that we can stay away from the evil practices we have. At the same time, we can cultivate blessings and wisdom, that we can maintain pure thoughts,
pure vow,
and make pure vows.
好，暂时这样咯。
Okay, one more. And then so we can just let go of other people's evil, let go of other people's bad points. If we don't remember to do this, then we will fall into the state of being mindful of living beings' mistakes. And in that way, we would not be making our Bodhi resolve. So in thought after thought, we should maintain our proper thoughts. We should maintain our proper thoughts. When we see someone's mistake, and if we think they are wrong, we're actually in the way of looking down at people. We're seeing, let's say if we see someone making mistakes, then we look down on them. But when we see someone better than us, well, then we become jealous. And this is actually part of a woman's demeanor. However, men are also jealous. And if they're really seriously jealous next life, they will also become a woman. So if we get caught up in our negative emotions without recognizing it, without making great vows, without maintaining pure thoughts, if we're only mindful of other living beings, greed, anger, and delusion, then again, we fall into a mixture, creating a mixture of a good and bad karma. And if we practice this way, then we're actually accumulating the karma of the demons.
因为一直忘失菩提心嘛。
Yeah, because we keep forgetting our Bodhi resolve.
那我们现在呢，就是刚才说哈，要发菩提心嘛哈。那现在告诉各位，上品上身的人就是要发菩提心的人。我们来看《佛说观无量寿佛经》。
Okay, so we talked about making a Bodhi resolve. If you wish to be born in the upper level of upper grades of lotus in the land of ultimate bliss, then you need to give rise to 3 kinds of mind.
好，希望大家暂时呢把刚才听的东西放下，就专心听这个地方，不要打妄想哈。大家来看啊，怎么样让自己将来可以真的上品上身哈。佛告阿难及韦提希，上品上生者，若有众生愿生彼国者， 发三种心，即便往生，何等为三？一者自诚心，二者身心，三者回向发愿心。具三心者，必生彼国。
Those who attain birth on the highest level of the highest grade are sentient beings who resolve to be born in that land, produce three kinds of mind, and so are born there. What are the three? First is the most sincere mind. Second is the profound mind. And the third is the dedication of the mind that produces the vows. Those who make these three kinds of mind or brought forth these three kinds of thoughts will certainly be reborn there. So just put aside what we talked about earlier and just focus your attention on this particular section right now.
学习怎么样上品上身。
So we can learn the underlying principles of how to be reborn in the upper level of upper grade.
其实呢，十法界不离一念心，你来世会变成人，还是会堕落三恶道，还是会做圣人，菩萨啦、阿罗汉啦，还是佛，完全是看你的心念。所以心是掌控你的行为，跟你的言语的。所以我们那颗心要善用你那颗心，你的心可以起烦恼，可是你颗心也可以不要起烦恼来发大愿。所以我们现在呢，要真心想要上品上身的人呢，很多人都想我要上品上身，这是必定的，一定要发这个愿上品上身。但是呢，你既然发了你要上品上身，你该怎么做？这个是今天一定要讲的咯，就是你要具足这三种心，你就可以上品上身了。
Okay, so one mind, the 10 Dharma realms does not go beyond one single thought. So our mind is very strong. We could fall into the three evil destinies, or we can become a sage, an arhat, or an ordinary being. All of that is controlled by our mind. Our mind dictates our actions, our speech. If we can skillfully and wholesomely use our mind, then we can obtain merit and virtue. We could not give rise to afflictions, make great resolve, and attain bodhi. Let's say I've made a resolve to be reborn in the upper grade of upper lotus. This is my vow. And then if you cultivate these three kinds of mind, then you can certainly be reborn there.
上品上身的三种心，第一就是自诚心，大家背起来哈。第二是身心，第三回向发愿心。反正你活在这个娑婆世界，在你往生之前，从今天开始，你每天都会遇到你个人的生老病死问题，跟你亲人的生老病死问题，全世界的种种人的生老病死跟灾难呢，的有情无情的众生的变化，你都会遇到。那你怎么样用这三种心来去面对呢？你能够面对，用这三种心来面对呢，包你是上品上身的啦。
So we have made the resolve to be reborn in the upper grade of upper lotus, and you need to cultivate these three kinds of mind. The mind of most sincerity, utmost sincerity. Second is profound mind. The third is the dedication of mind that produced the great vows. You need to memorize this. Since now we're in the Saha world, from now until we die, we will always encounter birth, death, old age, and sickness of our friends, families, and ourselves. Whether they're sentient beings or insentient beings, all living beings are changing. But if we can use these three kinds of minds in all situations, we will certainly be reborn in the land of ultimate bliss in the upper grade of upper lotus.
好，自诚心就是我等一下才讲。身心呢，就是你修行的那个道心 要很深沉的，遇到考验呢，你也不退菩提心的，你不会起烦恼心，身退转心，那个才叫圣心。你身心对往生有信心，对阿弥陀佛有信心，对大乘法有信心，遇到修行了，还遇到这么多种不如意的事情，你还是不退菩提心，你还是明白这些不如意的事情并没有障碍你往生上品上生，你会有这种智慧，你不会被境界转，你也了解这个令你很困扰的逆境来也不是不好，那个觉得不好是凡夫之见，可是所谓人间的仇人就是佛国的恩人，好，你就有这种智慧说，哎呀，我们一般人最讨厌的逆境呢，就是所谓的人间的仇人，可是对佛国的人来说，人间的仇人就是我们佛国的恩人，也就是说，越给你麻烦的人，越令你痛苦的人，好，越给你呢不自在的人，其实那些人呢，你如果有身心菩提心的身心的话，你会去理解，原来这个才是给我呢加料的，让我的福慧迅速增上的最好的逆增上缘，你会真正的明白了解信受，而且不会排斥，也不会去为了这个呢起了一种烦恼心或者害怕的心，想要逃避的心，你不会有这种问题，反而你面对的时候你也不执着，你还会起一个感恩，又来看我了，有没有身心，你会有这样子的正念，这是有这种菩提心了。
说刚才说又来看我了 and then
什么看我？
就是也来看我，就是 test my states. That last two sentence I missed. 就是不会执着，然后又来看我。
You translate first, then I will correct when you.
Okay. So when we are cultivating the Bodhisattva path, our resolve must be profound. Our mind must be profound. That means we don't give rise to afflictions. When we encounter states, we don't retreat. We have faith toward Amitabha, toward the land of ultimate bliss, toward rebirth, toward the Mahayana Dharma. So when we encounter something unfavorable, something that doesn't really accord with our wish, we can still maintain our faith. We would not be obstructed. We still want to be reborn in the land of ultimate bliss. So you will have the wisdom to know, the adverse states isn't bad at all, because there is a saying, it says that the enemies in the human realm is the person you should pay kindness to in the Buddha realm, meaning that people that you don't like, who always give you trouble, who always give you problems, who create afflictions for you, these we say they are enemies. So your enemies in the human realm is actually people you're indebted to in the Buddha land. It means that people who always make you agitated, who always give you trouble, who always make you not at ease. If you really use your profound mind, if you really have this profound mind, then you will have the wisdom to know that, this person, the state, is giving me fertilizers to grow my blessings and wisdom quickly. So this is actually superior conditions manifested in adverse states. If you can really understand that, then you would not be afflicted. You would not want to avoid the situation or avoid the states. You wouldn't want to escape from it. Furthermore, you actually would be able to see through it. You would not be attached to it. You would actually have this kind of thoughts. You would think that, this person or this state is coming to test me, to check on me, to see if my faith and my vows are genuine, are authentic.
没关系，你这样翻也行。反正这个身心呢，就是当我们我们的五蕴身心两方面，你的身体出状况了，或者你的心太累了、太辛苦了， 有人给你压力，或者你身体方面出状况，这个时候都是考验我们的身心。譬如有些人他病了，有的甚至还不是大病，他也就开始心慌乱，他就可以呢放松他的戒律了。譬如说有些人呢，他身体常常不是很健壮，年纪越大当然就越来越差，然后他就会随便相信邪医。所谓的邪医呢，他就会来告诉你说，你要吃这个药哦，这个药呢它可以帮助你的，让你吃了呢你的病就会好。而哪怕这个药呢是有动物成分，那个医生跟你讲说这个动物成分没问题的，这个是属于药嘛，是开源，是可以开源的，你可以用，你用了你会很健康，你用了你就不会中这个新冠病毒，或者你用还有的还讲说你要吃那个叫什么的，你要吃那个葱蒜吃了葱蒜呢，你就不会得中这个新冠病毒这种病。所以这种时候呢，当我们处在这种逆境来的时候你为了保住你的命你就吃葱了，开灾破戒了。第二，或者你就去吃那个药，那个药里面呢有那个动物的胆，或动物的什么，它的五脏六腑的其中一个的成分可以帮助你很健壮的。然后如果那个医生他又是一个出家人的话，他告诉你这个开眼的没问题，你去信你糟糕了。因为呢刚才我说了，六道都是在就是人间都是在属于欲界，是魔王所管辖。你是一个发菩提心的人，他一定不想你成功修诸功德，他要破坏你的修行，他一定趁你现在身体虚弱病不好，就是精气神差了的时候，或者有病痛的时候，他就可能呢控制出家人他也行的，控制在家人他也行，控制普通医生也行，就控制那些想赚大钱的人呢来破坏你的修行。可是你并不知道这个默默当中有复杂的因果，包括魔在那边控制着，你也不知道。所以这时候呢你就心摇动了，就去吃那些不应该吃的东西，所以你就当时你的身心就已经破碎了，你那个身心不见了，你已经呢就是放宽了你的持戒的那个精进，你可以既然呢就不持戒了，没关系了。所以呢我们人的菩提心呢真的要用身心去修，才能跟上品上升。那我们这个身心呢，在善导大师他讲的真的很清楚的，讲得很清楚的。他说即使譬如你求往生的人，即使呢十方诸佛来告诉你叫你呢不要念阿弥陀佛，不要去极乐世界，还有其他世界更好，你都要跟佛说，佛弟子已经发愿求往生了就不改其志，就从始至终一定是身心的信愿念佛到底，一定要求往生，不退转所以你都能够呢，佛来要求你改，你都不改，你要这样子的坚固的菩提心，修你要修的这个法门，包括你要求往生的这个愿。
Okay. Okay, so the profound mind, we're talking about the profound mind. Let's say the five skandhas of our body and mind. Let's say your body, your physical body is sick, your mind is very stressed. It's really a time that your body and mind are undergoing test. Let's say someone is sick, they're not really greatly sick. Let's say they're sick, they have some sickness, and their mind, they panic. And so they relax. They kind of relax in the standard of how they uphold the precepts. Of course, the older you get, the weaker your body gets. And the older you get, your mind tend to relax more. And you may even believe in evil doctors. The doctor would advise you, take this medicine. It's really beneficial to your sickness. even if the medicine has some animal products in them. The doctor will tell you, oh, it's fine. These animal products are just fine. It's not a problem. If you use this medicine, you will be very healthy again. So, or if you take this medicine, you will not catch COVID-19. Someone will tell you, oh, you should eat garlic and onions so that you will not catch COVID. It makes your body stronger, your immune system better. So all this is kind of a evil advice. So in this time, when this kind of adverse states happen, and of course, you would go ahead to take the medicine because your mind panicked already, and you would break your pure vegetarian precepts. Even if, let's say, this medicine has animal gall in it, but you will believe in it and you say, okay, I'll take this medicine, I'll become healthy again. However, to practice the profound mind, you're a person who have made the Bodhi resolve. The demons would not want you to be successful. They want you to fail in your cultivation. So they will come in at your weakest time, when your body is not healthy, when your essence, your energy, and your spirits are weak. They will come to control you or control your doctor, to break your cultivation. Or let's say the demons could control people around you or your doctors. You don't even know. They could give you all sorts of messed up advice and say, oh, you should. So then you will probably be taking medicine that you should not be taking because they break your precepts. So at this point, your profound mind may break, may shatter, and you will just kind of relax how you uphold the precepts. Your vigorous mind kind of disappear and you say, okay, I don't want to uphold the precepts, and that's also fine with me. So we need to use our Bodhi resolve to cultivate in our cultivation so that we can be reborn in the upper level of upper grade. Great Master Shandao had given this analogy. He said, those who are seeking rebirth in the Pure Land, even the Buddhas in the 10 directions, come manifest in front of you and said, good men or good women, don't go to Pure Land anymore. Don't recite Amitabha Buddha. What should you do? How should you respond? If you really have the profound mind, you will reply to the Buddhas of the 10 directions. The great Buddha, I, so-and-so disciple, have made resolve to seek birth in the Pure Land. I'm going to recite Amitabha's name from now until I die. So even when the Buddha come and tell you not to be reborn in the Pure Land, not to recite the Buddha's name, you still will want to continue with your great resolve. You will not retreat. Even when the Buddha come to tell you to change your resolve, you will not change your resolve. If you can really cultivate this, then if you can really do this, then your vow of seeking rebirth in the Pure Land is truly profound.
好，那修行这个上品上升的第三种心叫回向发愿心就是不管你现在是顺的境界或者苦的境界来了是你的不好的果报来了的时候，你还是要回向发愿，还是要念佛，还是要做功课回向发愿，而不是被这个境界困扰到你有一种七情产生你都要不要忘失回向发愿心，菩提心就不退，这个就是上品上升必具的条件。
Okay, so then being reborn in upper level, upper grade, you must also have the mind to dedicate a merit and virtue, dedication of the mind that produces the vow. Whether favorable states come or unfavorable state come, you will still make vows and make transference, and not be entangled or trapped by the states where you would give rise to 7 kinds of emotions. Then you can be reborn in the upper grade of upper lotus.
那我们现在呢是刚才大略了解身心回向发愿心，可是第一步自成行才是最关键的我们来看一下善导大师解释。
Okay, so we've just understood or briefly understood the 3 kinds of mind. Of course, you have the profound mind that make transference or dedication. but the most important one is the almost sincere mind. So let's see what a Great Master Sandao say about this.
善导大师他解释自诚心就是真实的心，就是说我们学佛的人，求往生的人，我们要记得你的身口意三业所修行、所理解、所去行动的，全部要用那一颗真实的心去做，不要呢戴假面具。
Okay, so it says that first is the mind of almost sincerity. Almost means it's true, and sincere means it's real. It means that all the bodies, all our cultivation, our understanding and practice of all sentient beings, body, speech, and mind must be carried out with the true mind, must be carried out with the most authentic, genuine mind. Do not wear a mask, or mean do not be phony.
就是说呢，我们现在譬如你们听经听到现在都差不多时间了你已经大概了解了说上品上升的人呢，就是要发菩提心那他发菩提心还要发大愿的回向发愿，然后呢他要诚心去做什么事情呢？就是刚才说的嘛，身心不动，然后要回向发愿，但是呢最真实的心中要去做的就是断恶修善。
Okay, so this means, well, time is almost up. Here it says people who wish to be born in the upper level of upper lotus, we must make great resolve. We must make transference. So for a sincere mind, what do we do? Our body and mind should not move. And we sincere in the sincere mind, what do? We eventually we want to truly cut off from evil and cultivate all good.
对，真实心中去自舍自他诸恶及秽果等，因为求生西方极乐世界嘛，那你在娑婆世界的时候呢，你一到任何的境界来的时候，你都要控制你自己，你千万要舍自己的恶，不要遇到这个境界就造了恶，身口意三业就是造了身口意的三恶业了，千万不要，一定要舍。第二，看到众生的恶的时候，他的身口意三业的恶给你见闻了，你也要舍，控制你自己，舍他的恶，不是念他的恶，不是呢因为见他人的恶而起诸不善念，然后呢你就有一种讨厌的心，看不起的心，那完全又是落入七情所以这个是你既然知道要有自诚心了，你就要诚心了，说不可以念别人恶好，我从今以后我不愿意再念了。你一定要真实的每天 check 你自己，因为我们在娑婆世界举目看到的听到的都是一些恶恨不好的东西，别人的不圆满的地方给你看到给你听到了，你每天就念在想在讲，又在到处分享，到处去就用微信还是用 WhatsApp 就寄给人家一直在讨论讨论政府怎么不好啦，讨论别人怎么样不好了，那个完全是没有舍他人的恶，没有用真实心来修行，一直念别人的恶，而你念别人的恶，将来你会变成跟他一样恶的，因果会跑到你身上，你怎么去极乐然后你一直念娑婆的恶，你就等于是说执着娑婆，你也没有厌离娑婆。所以呢，既然真实心求往生，就对这里的的恶一定不要再去想它，去看它，去知道那么多反正呢，众生好不好，你不小心给你听到了，你都要希望他们好。那是不小心给你听到，你绝对不会故意去听，每天去看新闻，天下又发生什么事什么政策好不好，什么每天去追那个新闻，那无常如幻如化的境界。这样的话，你就没有舍这个虚妄相，你没有舍这个你自己的那个好奇心也是你的恶你也没舍。
Okay. So here it says, use the true and sincere mind, discipline oneself, renounce all evil of self and others, as well as letting go of the defiled land, and etc. So those of us who are seeking rebirth in the Pure Land, when states come in the Saha world, you need to discipline yourself. You need to let go, you need to renounce other people's faults and other people's evil, so that you don't create karma using your body, speech, and mind. You would also let go the evil that living beings have created through their body, speech, and mind. So it's not the case that, you're seeing other people's faults, you're seeing other people's evil, and then you start not liking this person or you look down on this person. Because when you have these kind of thoughts, you fall into the 7 emotions. So then the almost sincere mind means you truly, honestly check yourself every day. In the Saha world, everywhere around, you will see the imperfection of other people. You will see the faults of others. But then but not only just seeing these imperfections, you will share with other people using social media, using Weixin, using WhatsApp, using WeChat. You talk about how the government is so terrible, or this person had made this mistake, and you pass the gossip around. That means you did not use the almost sincere mind. You're actually being mindful of other people's faults, other people's evil. And then what happens. What comes around goes around. Eventually, the causes and effect will fall onto you. And you will become the subject of gossip. You will become the subject of people's talking about your faults. So when we see imperfections in this world or others' imperfection, we should not be attached to it. If we're attached to it, passing messages, passing these gossips, along with social media, then you are not really maintaining your mind to seek rebirth. So with the almost sincere mind, you should make a resolve. I don't want to think about other people's faults. I don't want to see other people's mistakes. Let's say if uncarefully you have heard something or know something, then you should let go of it. Or people even nowadays go on YouTube to watch news, or go on TV to watch news. You look at government policy, or you look at this and you look at that. Every day we chase after news. All these are really impermanent. All these are really illusory, because things change all the time. So if you're doing that, that means you're not really letting go or renouncing the characteristics of illusion. These are illusory marks or illusory characteristics, and which means you're not letting go of your own faults. You're not letting go of your own evil either.
你的那个八卦的心也是贪心来嘛，贪爱的心、习气毛病你都没有舍。
Okay, and then so the mind that likes to gossip, that likes to talk about people's rights and wrongs, are actually a kind of greed. It's a kind of greed and attachment, a kind of greed and craving. This is also the habit that you did not let go of yourself.
Yes. 那我们看呢，行住坐卧想同一切菩萨自舍诸恶，我亦如是也。
During walking, standing, sitting, and lying down, one should think about disciplining oneself and renouncing all evil in the same way as all bodhisattvas do.
行住坐卧当中，时时不要忘记想念谁呢？一切诸菩萨们，他们一定时时都在控制自己，要舍一切的恶。刚才所说的自他的恶，他们自己的不对习气毛病一定要舍，自己的烦恼心要舍，别人的烦恼心，别人的行为恶的那一方面我也要舍。所以菩萨呢，他们清净到什么程度呢？不见众生过啊。那菩萨能够呢舍众生的恶到什么程度？不见众生过，怎么办得到呢？因为菩萨有般若智慧啊，所以我就要修咯。这个真实心去自舍恶，然后还要进一步真实心去修诸善，包括修菩萨的善。菩萨的善就是有那个佛的智慧，能够呢舍破一切的虚妄相，就像有般若智慧， 破一切虚妄相，舍一切的好与不好的相，全部都要舍，不要再念这些虚妄相，不然你就是一个无明颠倒的众生，而不是有般若智慧的行者。所以呢，行住坐卧呢，都该舍的就要舍，该具备的智慧一定要具备，这样呢才能够表示你是真实心有这个自诚心，想要取上品上身啊。
Okay, so Bodhisattvas really discipline themselves. Here in this passage, you can see they really discipline their mind. Not only do they let go of their own afflictions, their own fault, they will also let go of other people's evil, other people's faults too. So Bodhisattvas are really pure. Pure to what point? They are so pure to a point that they don't see the faults of living beings. Why is that? It's because bodhisattvas have the prajna wisdom. They really have the true mind to discipline and let go of the evils of self and others. They can really let it go. They can see through that all marks are illusory. They are not confused by these illusions or ignorance or that living beings produce. If you're always mindful of other people's faults, then you're ignorant and deluded. So we need to let go, we need to renounce of your own evil and renounce other people's evil too, so that you can truly practice the almost sincere mind to be reborn in the upper grade of upper lotus.
因为时间已经到了我有关呢其实呢刚才讲的这个呢其实也是菩萨戒刚才说的三具境界有关系的。就三具境界呢，持菩萨戒的人呢，他第一要断恶，就是设立于戒，远离一切必须远离的法，就是我们心里呢不要那么无明颠倒着相有妄想有执着，更不可以有贪嗔痴的种种恶念跟烦恼心，这个你一定要断所以刚才就是真实心想断恶，不要有烦恼心，然后设善法界，所有一切应该修的善法你一定要去修，然后记得见到众生的善跟恶或者自己念念所做都是要摄众生，摄受众生，饶益有情的这样的一个心态来过日子，而不是每天做判官，看别人好不好，看政府好不好看你的身边的人好不好，你家人好不好，每天呢就做一个很聪明的律师，其实自己真的是一个呢很大问题的人，是无明颠倒，没有般若智慧的人，自己都不知道所以真实心中断恶修善，不念善恶，而是念念想要众生，若见众生善，也希望他就近清净，若见众生不善，也要希望他远离不善，而能够进一步修犯恨，也能成佛道。应该是什么都是只有一个念头罢了，看到你不好，我也要你从不好变好，然后会发菩提心，修诸功德，然后看到你很好，我希望你更圆满一点，你要有般若智慧来引导你的修行，让你真正的能够呢，在说佛的时候就好像住在极乐世界这样不被境界所考倒，每天都是心悦清净快乐安隐，其性极静自无所着，就是你自己本身就是心心念念就已经知道自己想要动的念头是什么，不应该动的念头是什么，都要很清楚的，你才能够保住这个菩提心不然的话呢，自己一边修一边呢就每天看手机看又在看这个看这个，心都是向外攀缘，他不知道修行是要舍攀缘心的。
Okay. So we just talked about this. This is actually the almost sincerity mind is related to the three clusters of precepts. These are actually Bodhisattva's precepts. So the first one is precept on gathering in Vinaya, means to keep away from dharmas that one must be apart from. So our mind should be very clear. We should not be ignorant or deluded, being attached to all kinds of characteristics from people's faults. giving rise to afflictions. So in the almost sincere mind, we need to cut off evil. So the second is precepts on gathering in wholesome Dharma. It means to cultivate and certify to the Dharma that one must be Precept on gathering in wholesome dharmas means to cultivate and certify to the dharmas that must be cultivated and certified to. So means cultivate all good dharma, all wholesome dharmas we need to cultivate. Third is precept on benefiting living beings, means to bring benefits and happiness to sentient beings. This means that every day we need to benefit other people. We need to benefit other living beings. We don't walk around like a judge, being judgmental, looking at people's judging, oh, this person is good, that person is bad, this is good, that is bad. You're always judging. You're acting like a smart lawyer. But the problem is you are the biggest problem you're not aware of. You're always, you have no prajna wisdom and you don't know about it. So when we see good points of
的问题你也不知道
huh?
你着相的问题自己也不知道
And then you're not even aware or you didn't even recognize that you're very attached to marks or attached to characteristics. You're not even aware of it. So you're just acting like a smart lawyer. So when we see good points of living beings, then we should wish that living beings could be more pure, that they can become better. When you see living beings are not so good, then you make a good wish or make transference for them so that they could change. They could furthermore cultivate Brahma conduct. They can advance in their cultivation. So then when you see that they're no good, they're not nice, they're not wholesome, but you can use your mind, you can use transference or make vows to make them better. So you can cultivate merit and virtue, and they can also cultivate merit and virtue. When you see someone good, then you also make this vow. You also sincerely wish that they will have true prajna wisdom to guide their cultivation. So that although they're in the Saha world, it's as if they live in the land of ultimate bliss. So their mind, they could be Qingjing Kuai Anwen, they could be pure, happy, stable, secure, so their mind is still and quiet, and they have no attachment in the aspiration or the vows that they make. So from here, you should know very, very clearly what kind of thoughts should you have, what kind of thoughts you should not have, so that you can maintain your Bodhi resolve. So it's not like, oh, we're kind of watching our handphone all the time. We're looking at our cell phones and then swipe, which means our mind is always going outward, climbing on conditions, climbing on external circumstances.
那就是不知道自己呢是要舍攀岩心，自舍攀岩心很重要哦。
Okay, so then you don't really know that you have to let go of this mind that climbs on conditions, always going outside.
好的，然后呢，今天讲到已经超出7分钟了哈。不过呢，就是说，我们是有很多做不得主的时候，因为我们有攀岩心，有爱欲，我们喜欢呢去看众生毛病，我们喜欢保护自己，每天忘不了我相、人相、众生相、寿者相，我们有这些问题，所以我们常常忘失菩提心，所以持戒3句境界就持不圆满。那因此呢，药师佛他发这个第5愿，就是可以帮助我们，让我们越来越把这种攀岩心舍掉，然后我们心就会静下来了，静意自守，你就真正的在道上觉得天下发生什么大事也不是什么大事，因为有无明才见到是大事。你如果是没有无明呢，本来就是空的嘛。所以这个道理呢，我想留到呢下个月10月16号。太平洋时间就是这个时间太平洋时间10月16号下午3点到4点半再继续跟大家探讨。然后北京时间呢是 准时哦，希望大家尽量准时了，是早上6点到7点半。
Okay, so in this world, there are a lot of times we are not in control of ourselves. We are not our own master. We're always looking at living beings. We're always protecting ourselves, our own interests, and protecting our ego. We have not forget self and others. We're always in the trap of looking at the marks or the characteristics of self, people, living beings, and longevity. So we cannot really cultivate the three clusters of precepts very purely. We cannot make great vows. And we cannot uphold the precepts perfectly. However, the important point is here, Medicine Master Buddha can really help us do that, can return us to purity. So that we can really guard our own, we can really guard our pure intentions, our pure thoughts. So when something really big happens in the world, you treat it like nothing is really happening. So when you think something big is happening, is because you have your ignorance. When you have ignorance, everything is a big matter. Everything is big thing. But if there's no ignorance, then nothing matters. Nothing is really a big deal. So the remaining part I want to save to our next class, our next lecture is going to be on October 16th, 2021, same time Saturday, 3 to 4:30 Pacific time. Malaysia time or Beijing time is Sunday morning, October 17th, 2021 from 6 a.m. to 7:30 a.m.
所以我们能够呢越修越心，能够清净不攀缘，能够静下那颗心，不会一天到晚想要攀缘，要看这个看那个，心静不下来嘛。人呢，现在的人真的被手机控制到我们的心，真的静不下来的，时时刻刻手不离机的，真的是这样。你怎么让你的心越来越自在呢？不被自己的生死所控，所弄到自己不开心，也不被世间的种种事情所困扰你这个清净心跟帮助众生的心呢？真正的清净来修菩萨道呢，真的是要佛力来加持，所以呢才鼓励大家拜药师忏。明天我们有药师忏啊，你们要把握机会，1个月才拜1次，可是你每个月这样拜下来呢，又懂得发大愿的话呢，你真的你慢慢你就有定力了，你就觉得哎呀根本这个也没有什么，你就不会去攀岩，然后你会每天用功好好的念佛，回向发愿，然后遇到境界呢，你也是呢会发好愿，然后也不念众生恶，也不找到自己很会修，修行相也空，这些你慢慢你就有这些智慧就会出来的，真的是药师佛会帮助我们持菩萨戒持得清净，他会破我们的我相，它使到我们持菩萨戒清净，所以有关持菩萨戒清净这一部分呢，真的要留到下次了。
Okay, so the more we cultivate, the more pure we want to be. We don't really want to climb on conditions, looking at our cell phone all the time, swiping our cell phone screens all the time, to a point that, our mind is no longer calm. Nowadays, we're very much controlled by our cell phones. Our hands cannot stay away from our cell phones. So our mind is also controlled by the cell phones, so that we can no longer be calm. So what to do? We don't really want to be controlled or trapped by our own birth and death or worldly things. How do we use the bodhisattvas? How do we use our pure thoughts to cultivate? How do we cultivate the bodhisattva path? What to do? So we really encourage you to bow the medicine master repentance. It's going to be tomorrow. So when we bow, we make great vows. Gradually, we will have a samadhi. We wouldn't be climbing on, our mind wouldn't go outward to climb on conditions anymore. Then you can continue to practice, to work hard, to make transference, make great vows. then you would not be mindful of living beings' mistakes or their evil. At the same time, you wouldn't be attached to your own cultivation or even think that, well, you have great cultivation. Then gradually, your wisdom will be open. It will be uncovered. So then you can let go of the mark of self, or you can actually let go of your ego and uphold the Bodhisattva precepts purely. So as to how to uphold the Bodhisattva precepts purely, we really have to save this topic for the next lecture.
现在回向。
Okay, dedication.
愿以此功德庄严佛净土，上报四重恩，下济三途苦。若有见闻者，悉发菩提心，尽此一报身，同生极乐国。顶礼老和尚，一问讯，再问讯，三问讯。阿弥陀佛，我讲超过了15分钟。阿弥陀佛，对不起。
Not a problem, 法师。阿弥陀佛。See you next month.
Okay.